If you didn't make it in your 20s, you can make it in your 30s. And if you didn't make it in your 30s, you can make it in your 40s. And if you didn't make it in your 40s, you can make it in your 50s. And just remember Grandma Moses. She was a painter. And she didn't start painting until, I think, in her 80s. And one of the most prolific painters.
It's never too late.
Never too late.
Never
So have fun. That's what it's all about.
A lot of people would look at someone in my position right now and think, she's really got her shit together, you know? Like, she's really on it, like, she's got it all. And as far as like my personal life goes, I really have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. And I just want to say that if you're someone out there who has no idea what this next chapter is going to bring, you're not alone in that.
God didn't promise us a problem-free life. We ain't never gonna have that. You're never gonna experience life and feel like, you know what, everything is good all the time. But there has to be something inside of you, even right now today, that decides you're gonna win no matter what. No matter what comes at you, no matter what was already said about you, no matter if you don't have your parents, no matter if you don't have family, you have to know and decide today, right now, that you are going to be one of the ones in this room that wins.
There will be times when you seemingly face insurmountable obstacles, but that's when you dig deep into your soul for the courage and the fortitude to keep going and to never forget that despite life's detours, you are destined for greatness.
You can love someone and still choose to say goodbye to them. You can miss a person every day and still be glad that they're no longer in your life.
All I have to say is that this is hard work. I've worked hard for a long time, and it's not about, it's not about winning. But what it's about is not giving up. If you have a dream, fight for it. There's a discipline for passion, and it's not about how many times you get rejected but you fall down or you're beaten up. It's about how many times you stand up and are brave and you keep on going. Thank you.
We are told that if we're beautiful, if we're skinny, if we're successful, famous, if we fit in, if everyone loves us, that we'll be happy. But that's not entirely true. But the most important journey I think all of us will go through is the journey in ourselves, to find our truth, to find who we are and what makes us happy.
Happiness is the key, because there's so many people that you see either in this industry or just in life in general that are going through their days and may have everything they could ever want, but they're not happy, you know? So you have to focus on what makes you happy and make decisions in your career, in your life, that make you happy. And so I've been trying to do that, and it's working, you know, and saying no to things that are negative and saying no to things that you don't want to do, you know. So I think that's my biggest piece of advice.
It's great if somebody has an amazing education, but I know from my own experience and my own life and other people that I work with, that you don't have to have a degree to have value or to, you know, be of tremendous worth to different businesses. That street smarts, that experience, that just kind of internal, kind of creative know-how is just as valuable as a degree.
You should never, ever be embarrassed by those struggles. You should never view your challenges as a disadvantage. Instead, it's important for you to understand that your experience facing and overcoming adversity is actually one of your biggest advantages.
Knowing what it is about you that is infectious and being able to convey that to people as soon as you meet them is so important. Being memorable and making an impact is so important. You know, that's true for so many different lines of work, and not just like as an actor, but you have to do things to stand out. You can't play by the rules. And I think that, yeah, just knowing that you're good enough and making sure that you stay on that path to be that person.
We all have varying degrees of loss and sadness and pain in our lives, and it's a necessity, honestly, because then how would we appreciate the good times and the hopeful times and all of the abundance that life has, if you go and grab it. But it's a personal choice to get up and move on and be better.
I'm sure all of you have been told that you don't have what it takes and that you may not be good enough and you don't have enough people supporting you, and you're being told all of these things, but deep down it's all you want to do. You want to be a part of something great. You want to make something great. And it does more than knock the wind out of you. It crushes you when people try to tell you that you're not good enough. And it almost did for me, but there was my mom next to me, stronger than ever. And she said, the most important thing is to always trust in myself. If I'm doing something because I love it, I should do it because I love it, and I believe I can do it. Let the critics be critics, and let us just trust ourselves.
Following your dreams is never easy, really, because, you know, it's going to take work, and it's going to take dedication, and it's going to take focus, and it's going to take drive. But as long as you really love it, and you really want it, and you keep that laser focus, then nothing is impossible. You got this.
I know you all understand better than most that real progress requires an authentic way of being, honesty, and above all, empathy. The single most important lesson I learned in 25 years talking every single day to people was that there's a common denominator in our human experience. We don't want to be divided. What we want is we want to be validated. We want to be understood.
You have to understand, when you have nothing to compare it to, and you just get to go to work and you see so many of your friends who are not working, I'm just grateful to be working and explore other things and not just sit back and just wait for what's handed to you.
Entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. It is not. And to this day, it's like this every single day because you're always pushing the envelope, right? And the purpose of an entrepreneur is to solve problems. So every day something happens and you're like, oh, I didn't expect that. And you got to deal with it. And I also say entrepreneurship is the fast track to personal development. Because every day, right, you're facing something right here. It's like, oh man, and you can't back down from it. You gotta deal with it.
Always remember where you come from in life doesn't determine how far you will go. Your dream is as big as you can dream it, and I am so proud of each and every one of you. And all it takes is one person to believe, and that person is you.
When I first started making money, and it was, you know, my salary or my earnings were published all over the place. I mean, the first year I was like, really? Did I make that much money? Oh my God. It was very difficult for me to figure out where my boundaries were because I'd grown up poor and didn't have anything. So it's easy when you don't have anything and people ask you for money. And they say, I need $500. You say, I don't have it because I'm just trying to get my rent paid. It's harder when your multi-million-dollar salary is now in the paper and you get a lot of friends and cousins you didn't have before.
So what is it you believe and know to be God's dream for you? So I live in the dream. I'm living in the space of the dream, and dream's good, dream's good.
You know, there's one place that all the people with the greatest potential are gathered. One place, and that's the graveyard. The stories of the people who dreamed big and never saw those dreams to fruition. People who fell in love and lost. I became an artist, and thank God I did, because we are the only profession that celebrates what it means to live a life.
Other people's perception of you ain't none of your business. Everything you've ever been through, sat through, rose through, cried through, prayed through, everything is a setup for your next best season. In the way you forgive the perceivingly unforgivable, the way you love the perceivingly unlovable, the way you accept what seems to be unacceptable, the way you embrace after you've been betrayed, the way you do that is the way you will lead us. Your light belongs to everyone who'll be illuminated because you were bold enough and obedient enough to let your light shine.
And you're sitting there waiting for your boss or your spouse or your friends or your family to do the thing, to encourage you, to love you, to validate you. I'm here to tell you, you need to make it a habit to start every fucking day validating yourself, cheering for yourself, because life is a marathon. And this might be a challenging leg where you're like, I'm just going to throw in the towel. I'm not going to do that thing. Hell no. If you're standing in front of that mirror You deserve to feel the support and empowerment and encouragement that you need. And so stop waiting for everybody else to do it. Stop waiting.
Staying true to who you are is easy when you know who you are. And I think that I'm 31, and through my 20s, I had to really get to know myself. And I had a lot of like what felt like maybe a carpal tunnel, because I was just writing a lot about journaling, about who I wanted to be, what my goals were, and all these different things. And when I look back at those journals, I laugh because I feel like I was so immature. Like I really wanted such little things.
My biggest inspiration is my experiences. I love women. I look up to a lot of strong women, Brene Brown, people that have helped me grow. But my biggest inspiration is my life, and I love my mom as well. She inspires me.